All right, thank you very much. So our next speaker is Sampath Thrimavithana, presenting a lightning talk on AI transformation in business opportunities and challenges. So let's give him a warm welcome. Yeah, and also don't forget to submit all your questions through the scan code.
Hi everyone. Okay, this is supposed to be a lightning speech. So obviously I've been given only 12 minutes. And in the email that I've got, it says if I exceed 12 minutes, the moderator is going to kick me out from the, the stage. So let me not wait for that, by the way. So it's going to be very short. So I'll be sharing with you a few learnings, just to give you a context that I've been actually in the corporate, in the sense sector for the last 20-25 years, out of which 15 years in the tech industry. But about 10 years back, we started a company in order to do something which we call the talent transformation, because we thought the business transformation can be done through talent transformation. And traditionally what was done was basically, it's pretty much training and development, right? Basically, you give certain tools and certain methodologies, processes. Obviously, the human factor will get transformed. And once it happens, the aggregate impact would be the business get transformed, apart from all the other tech tools kind of thing. But we all know the latter part of or the 2016, 2018 is data analytics, AI, and particularly after 2020, the generative AI introduction, we thought that it is going to be a game changer because the usual productivity tools will probably go away and, you can improve the productivity of employees by 10x, right? So that's the context. So based on that, what we did was that apart from the training and the development piece, there were additional 3 pillars which was added. One was evangelizing, we used to call it, as well as consulting, plus the training and the engineering. So there are 4 pillars. And what I do is basically the evangelizing part as well as the consulting part for some extent. So my job involves coming into places like this and talking about the possibilities and the benefits of using data, analytics, AI in order for them to transform their businesses. Of course, this audience is different because this is a techie audience and maybe you have heard about all those stuff, but there is a lot of other audiences that they have actually not seen the full potential of this, how the businesses are going to get transformed. For an example, last week I was even delivering sessions at a chemistry institute where some of them were not even, aware how some of these tools can be used in order to accelerate certain innovations in certain, fields. For an example, things like even molecule optimization and things like that, right? So what's the opportunity that we have? I always used to show, I used to say, these audiences, these 3 things, right? Think that you are on a burning platform or there's an approaching train. So quickly you need to pivot, quickly you need to get into a different platform if it is burning, because otherwise you will be irrelevant. Plus the twilight, that means even though it is not going to impact you, definitely there will be a lot of opportunities, that unseen opportunities that you can kind of leverage for value creation. So that's what most of the time we go and speak in the audiences. But I would like to show this slide, right? I'm sure it is very close to Sri Lanka because this is more like the Ravana's picture, right? So this is, we go and say the promise is the new employee is going to be someone like the Ravana, okay? Sri Lanka is very popular for the gods with 6 heads and 12 hands and, superhumans like Ravana and even the politicians with Molahatas and all, right? So basically, we tell them, hey, you have an opportunity to be one of them. How? Probably using some of the tools which is already available, right? Which can be the basics like the ChatGPTs to, you can say Gemini to, and even Auto AI to various other tools which is available. Okay. One of the challenges that we have is most of the time there's something called denial. A lot of people say, hey, look here, my job cannot be automated. Hey, I'm doing a great job, so I don't think my job can be automated. So one of the challenges that we see is that unless otherwise we go and kind of really show them it can be done. For an example, few weeks back we did a session for finance professionals, and we showed them how they can use some of these tools in order to kind of do 1 month work in probably a few hours. And I thought they will get impressed. But in fact, they did not get, in the sense, few of them did not get impressed, but they actually got offended. They came and asked me, are you trying to say that, we are useless kind of thing? I said, no, it's not the case. But earlier you were doing 90% of your work, you have been paid $5,000, but now the same work can be done with $500. So obviously you need to justify, that's your job, to justify that why you have been paid that additional $4,500. I think you need to add different value than what you have been doing in the past. Right? The other challenge we have is we go and keep on teaching and training, upskilling people on how to use these tools. Okay, kind of looking at a problem and how to kind of frame the problem, put it into the system, and get the system to kind of put out the solutions. But we get to see that most of the organizations are basically, at the moment, they are not allowing some of these tools to be used. For an example, we've been doing certain sessions for leading telcos. They are not allowing the ChatGPTs or Gemini and all these things to be used because those are public cloud. So there are a few things that we do. For an example, can't we kind of do local deployments? I mean, we tried few things with even things like DeepSeek kind of thing, and Olama and all those, some of these large language model. But the problem is to run those models in the laptop it's taking a lot of time, right? So for an example, there was one prompt to be executed. It took close to about 10 to 15 minutes, right? And but some machines are faster, so it can run. But I think the next round would be mostly that not everybody has an upgraded laptop, but probably the laptops will get upgraded, and most of these the machines would be able to run some of the models and these tools locally. So that is another challenge that we meet, apart from the denial and the resistance that you get. And my next slide and the last slide is going to be, okay, as a framework, this is what we currently use in adopting AI into most of the businesses. So actually this is slightly changed from the original McKinsey framework. So you can see we have taking, shaping, and making. These are the three layers we operate. The taking part I have already explained it to you, is just go out and take the tools and make sure that the employees are getting productive, right? I can actually explain this much clearer in a shorter time, like for an example, from a personal use case or as an example. Now, for an example, my wife is teaching in one of the leading schools. So she loves teaching, but there is two things that she hates to do. One is setting papers, and marking sheets is something she doesn't like to do. Plus, after doing the exam, you have to read the the answer scripts and mark it. So last round, 6 months back when she was doing this, I told her, hey, look here, you can use AI to do this. He said, Oka hariyanne denial. Oka hariyanne ape ewata. Because the thing is, she doesn't know the technology. I said, no, wait, let me do this. I did a very simple prompt, putting all the curriculum stuff, and these are very easy, right? You do it. Here we go. It creates the assignment. It creates the quiz, plus a beautiful marking scheme. And I asked her to compare it with what she has done, and she had to agree. For a change, she had to agree with me, saying that the LLM has done a better job. Now the nice thing is, a few days back when I was coming home a little late, I found out she's watching Korean movies. I asked, aren't you doing your, you said you are very busy and all. No, I have done my exam paper and all those stuff, so I have excess time. Now I'm watching the Korean movies, right? I don't know whether the excess productivity has been used to the right thing, but then it is personal. But now, beautiful thing is, these days, she has to now read the answer scripts and basically mark. You know what she asked me? She asked me, is there any way that you can use the ChatGPT to mark the papers. I said, wow, you are thinking like a what? Techie now, right? That's a consultant. I said, yes, you can do it. You know why I said you can do it? But please don't try to do this time, because the reason is you will miss the deadline, right? Then it will all in me, right? If she has not released the marks on time. But I said it can be done. Why it can be done? Number one, because I have used a tool where you can take a picture of a doctor's prescription and it can be read 99.99% accurately using that tool. So obviously the answer scripts can be scanned and it can be read 99 because I'm sure the A-level students' handwriting is better than the doctors, right? They are in a journey to become a doctor, but obviously that is better. Second thing is, once you read a document, comparing it with a marking scheme or something like that, the computer can do better than a human job. And the next thing is, how can you convert that into a marking kind of a thing? But of course, there should be some validations and all, because this is children's education. So you can see it's not as direct as taking a tool and doing it, but it needs a little bit of shaping, or I added my own word called stitching, right? You need to stitch it. For an example, one tool, there are a few tools, it needs to be stitched together, and there is a workflow kind of thing. So that's the next level that we operate in businesses. We go to clients and ask them, look at their process end to end, then try to kind of, use already existing tools in order to provide a solution, right? For that, more consulting, less engineering. Okay? And the last bit, I think most of you all must be coming from that space where you really go and make these tools, right? I mean, the previous speakers and maybe the speakers to come would be involved in that. To be honest, my operation or our company does not involve much in that, except the fact we have tied up with few other engineering companies and high-end companies. As a part of the consulting, if we get an opportunity to build something like the brand new data sets to creating neural networks to, models to, and things like that. But I think that area is also, growing because of this. Now people are talking about small language models and things like that, right? And the models runs at runs at the edge, what they call the edge computing. So basically, that space is something that we are not operating, but we are operating most of the time at the taking and the shaping stage. So that's, is my time up? Pretty much. Yeah, I think I have about 30 seconds more. So basically, what I would like to share with you, one more slide, in case if I had additional time, I thought I'll share this one. So this is like a framework. You can see the top, no matter what business it is, it's the profit equals revenue minus cost minus loss, right? So whenever we go to a client, we always talk about how to increase revenue or reduce cost so your profit will go up. The middle part is where the data engineering and the management, the infrastructure and all those pieces comes in, which we are not heavily involved in. That we always outsource it for engineering companies or some other product companies currently tied up with us. But actually we use most of the time the descriptive analytics as well as the predictive analytics and the generative AI in order for transformation of these processes in the organization. So that's what pretty much the opportunities that we have got, as well as some of the challenges that we have seen. Thank you so much. I hope it's a little fast, lightning, but then again, that's what is being allocated to me, and that is what is being expected from me. I'll try to see you at the end of this session. If you have any other questions or anything like that, probably you can meet us and we can discuss. Thank you very much. All the best. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks so much.
It was indeed a lightning talk. Thank you very much, Sampath. And please come forward to accept a token of appreciation, if you can come forward. Thank you very much.